Hey, it's Jay. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me. I wanted to talk about something this evening that's been on my mind for a while. Discoverability. Discoverability is a pain, it is a challenge, and it is something that I know so many creators struggle with. I have no magic bullet for you. What I'm going to do is talk about some advice I've seen online, some advice I've read from other social media platforms on how to build your audience, and how I can pretty much say, been there, done that, it's all junk. One of the things that really got this into my head is recently I began my Patreon account as a creator. This is not saying, hey, I got Patreon, go support me on Patreon, I need your money. That's not what I'm doing. I'm I don't even have it linked anywhere. If you find it, good on you. But what really struck me when I signed up for Patreon, it said, hey, here's how to build your Patreon audience. Go to your Instagram account with your 20,000 users and tell them about your Patreon. I beg your pardon? How am I building my audience with these 20,000 random people from Instagram? Where did they come from? That's not discoverability. That's not growing your audience. Yes, you can leverage your social media to build your audience, but not everyone that's going over to Patreon has a built in audience of 20,000 people who might wander over and show up and donate some money through Patreon or sign up through Patreon. It doesn't work like that. YouTube, same thing. You don't just walk in with a built-in audience and go over, hey, go sign up for my Patreon or sign up for Floatplane or sign up for whatever, join on YouTube and send money in that manner. I've been following a GTA 5 YouTuber, Dark Viper AU. I enjoy his content. I enjoy his speedruns. I enjoy the fact that while he's doing a speedrun, he can focus enough to have a conversation with his audience because he's on autopilot when he's playing GTA 5. He recently did a video where he went back and he's like, "Oh, here's my viewership, and here's where I got my first sponsorship, and here's where I got my next sponsorship." And you can see this line is just perfectly flat for about 5 years of him doing YouTube, and all of a sudden he got this little bump and then another plateau where he went from literally 40 users to 200 users. And then he went from 200 to about 1,000. And from there it starts to ratchet up and then starts to go up rather quickly. He spent years trying to build his audience. Years. And he's one of the bigger YouTubers that you'll find out there. He's doing a lot of really good things, but he is working full time on his YouTube channel. He is generating content morning, noon, and night. He is streaming. He is doing speed runs. And a speed run on GTA 5 is going to take you 6 to 9 hours to do a speed run, depending on how well your run goes. Some of these guys are doing 2 runs a day, 3 runs a day. They're really into doing these speed runs. If you're like me and you have a day job, you don't have the kind of time to do that. I'm an author. Yes, I'm doing some YouTube stuff, but I would love to do some discoverability things, and I don't have the time to commit to that. What have I been doing? I've been doing what a lot of other books I've read about discoverability. Ooh, here's how you do it. Release content on a schedule. Did that. Blog. Did that. Facebook. Did that. Instagram. All the social medias. Post it everywhere. Hashtag it. Ask other people to talk about it. Did all that. I'm not saying last year was a failure. Last year, I had one of my bigger years as far as sales goes, and I did a good giveaway. We come into the beginning of this year, things fell flat. If I do everything right, there's going to be an image on this screen, and you won't see me waving my hands around. And I thought this image was very telling. I shared it with my writers group today. And it's a very simple message. And it makes sense. And it's something that a lot of smaller creators need to think about is you don't need to be the biggest and the best. You may never be the biggest and the best, but you need to cater to your audience and realize You have people that are there for you, that are listening to you, that are reading you, that are watching you, that are there for you. Cater to them. Yes, everybody wants to expand their reach. Everybody wants to have PewDiePie numbers of 200 million viewers on YouTube. Odds are you'll never be PewDiePie. You'll never be Jacksepticeye. You'll never be Markiplier. You will never be Dark Viper AU. Maybe you will. Maybe you'll do something completely different and completely outside the realm, and boom, you're taken off. The missus is watching a Facebook video person right now she started about a year ago, year and a half ago, and now she's got 1 million followers. She's doing really well. She's got her own makeup line and everything else. She just started doing her own thing. There's a lot of people doing makeup tutorials and whatnot, but she's all about the chisme. Do you know what chisme is? Go look it up. It's the gossiping. But my wife loves it, and she's watching all of her videos. That's how some people get you. They get you in the door, they watch one thing, and you just start building it up. But I have tried a lot of these things for discoverability, and it just hasn't worked. For me, it has not worked. What works for person A doesn't necessarily work for person B. Another thing I'll talk about for a moment is, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, is advertising. I haven't done any advertising, whether it be on Amazon, whether it be on Facebook. I have not done advertising, but I know some authors in the 20 books to 50K realm who are doing really well month over month, but they're spending 75%, 80%, sometimes 90% of the money they bring in on advertising. So that money's coming, and say they make $100,000 a month, and I'm not exaggerating these numbers. Some of them make far more than $100,000 a month. Say one of them brings in $100,000 in a month. They will spend $80,000, $85,000 on advertising to get awareness about their other books out there. Meaning, yes, they're making $10,000 or $15,000 a month, which is a really good income. But that's a huge outlay of money, month over month, every single month. It boggles my mind. I couldn't imagine spending that kind of money on advertising. I realize in these times there are so many people out there doing so many different things that it is hard to get seen. It is hard to get noticed. And sometimes that's what it takes, is shelling out a crap ton of money to do it. I'm not prepared to do that. I doubt I will do that. And you know what I will do? Like in the cartoon. I'm going to mind my tree. I'm going to mind my viewers. I'm going to mind my listeners. I'm going to mind my readers and enjoy myself and have fun with what I'm doing. If all I'm ever doing is looking up at, I wish I could be that, I'll never be satisfied with where I'm at and what I'm doing. So for me, would I love my writing career, my YouTube career, my audiobook career? Would I love it to explode and take off? Of course I would. I would love nothing better to spend my days sitting down at the keyboard, making stuff up, making people laugh, making people cry, making people enjoy a story and go, gosh, I got to get the next one. I would love nothing more than that. But I have a day job, and I do well at my day job. I enjoy my day job. I have absolutely no problem sitting down at that keyboard and making sure that company information is protected, customer information is protected, that I can build reports and generate content for upper management to digest. I have no problem working with other members of the team and helping them bolster their careers and move up and do better things. But when it comes to discoverability for me as a writer, I'm not going to invest a ton of money in it with no hope of a return. I'm going to do some things. I have other things planned to just have fun with, and that's the biggest thing. Is if I'm not having fun first, what's the point? I'm not going to do this as a job just for the sake of a job. I'm going to have fun doing this. I want to start doing book trailers and just have fun doing silly little book trailers. I want to take my decks of cards and, let's read a short story together. If you could see the floor behind me, you'd see the stack of books I got back there that I want to read this year. It's all about finding the time to sit down and do it. And that's my plan. I want to do that. At any rate, short little chit chat. If you've got a story, an anecdote, a comment about something you've done for trying to get your content discovered or to get your name out there, to get other people talking about you, let me know what you've done. Have you had success? Have you had failure? Are you still banging your head against that wall? Are you constantly looking up going, come on, why can't I do this? What's your story? I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear what's going on. Talk to me. At any rate, it's been Jay. Hey, it's Jay. Hope you're doing well. So glad you stopped by. Hope you come by again.